Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
So it turns out MACROSS ZERO is only 5 episodes. So we're staying on the MACROSS train another week.
Hell yeah, man. And MACROSS ZERO is better than I remember.
I actually liked it.
It's good.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah, it's better. I appreciate it a lot more this time around.
You know, like that kind of prequel, what the fuck went on.
And I never thought it was bad. I always thought it was kind of like, But you know what? It's pretty damn good. So
I liked it. Anyway, we got that. We got shows of the week.
Yep.
We got DOTA, Dragon's Blood, Season 2.
Season 3 or Book 3? Book 3.
Book 3, the
clear.
first 4 episodes. 4, right?
4 or 5.
Yeah, we watched like half of it. I can't remember. Kamen Rider Black Sun.
That was 4 episodes.
We watched the first half of that. And before any of that, per usual, the news.
The news. All right, so, we don't like to give bummer news, but this is a bummer, man.
Man, we always start out with bummer news lately.
We're gonna have to start out with this bummer news. I've eliminated a lot of the RIPs, but I gotta do this one because the best voice of Batman ever that ever will be has died at the age of 66. Kevin Conroy.
That's an actual tragedy.
It really is.
Like I actually give a shit.
Yeah, listen,
Like,
it's
a
never
lot.
good when someone dies, but like I care about this one a lot. Like
This one's relevant to my interests.
Kevin Conroy is a goddamn legend, and it's just a damn shame.
And as we've said 100 times, Batman, the fucking animated series, is one of the greatest animated things ever created.
So voice of Batman in Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond and all the Justice League shows, not all the movies because they always have different people, and the Batman games. So a lot of you probably played the Batman games, like the Arkham trilogy, right? Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and whatever, Arkham Knight. So yeah, just a shame. Him and Mark Hamill as the Joker are just one of those iconic combos. So R.I.P. Kevin Conroy. You will certainly be missed. All right, so I got to balance out the super bummer, man, with good news. So Kodakawa is doing a Gamera rebirth project.
Oh, hell yes.
It's going to be on Netflix, but it looks like yet another thing where Netflix doesn't really have anything to do with it. They're just throwing money at Japan.
Listen, man, if there's one thing that doesn't get enough play, it's fucking Gamera.
The teaser poster looks metal as fuck. No idea yet on
Is it live action or animated?
They don't say. So no idea yet on whether it's going to be animated or what. I don't know. I mean, it could be like the Godzilla series, in which case
I would be much happier if it was live action.
I will be much, much happier if it's live action. Agreed.
Because I love me some Gamera.
It might be like the Ultraman one, so it might be animated, but I'll be okay if it's animated if it isn't just really freaking weird. I mean, I guess I don't mind that Godzilla one being super weird just because why not do something weird with Godzilla? But
yeah.
Anyway.
Didn't Urobuchi have something to do with that?
I don't remember.
I think so.
I
feel like
don't
I say
remember.
that so often. It'd be like, man, that was weird, blah, blah. It's like, didn't Urobuchi have something to do with that?
Urobuchi's got a spotty track record. Sometimes he's awesome.
It's not spotty. It's just, it's always wacky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I appreciate that about him, though. It's never going to be boring.
Kamen Rider guy still be the best. Fucking that man was an orange.
Fucking
An orange samurai masked rider.
Fucking cherry arms.
Cherry arms. Oh my god, so good. Not quite decade good, but we'll get into that. Anyway, more Gamera coming your way. Sometime soon, there is a quick teaser on the YouTube channel. It's on Kodakawa's anime channel, so that may be a hint as to what format it is. But hey, we'll see. It's probably going to be animated, but I'll take any Gamera project I can get at this point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of animated things, so we got a short here that can be streamed. Unfortunately, only on Disney Plus. Boo.
Disney out of business.
But it is Grogu, Baby Yoda, and the Dust Bunnies, the Soot Dust Bunnies from Totoro, the Soot Sprites, whatever you want to call them,
funny.
in a 3-minute short. So haven't watched it ourselves yet because, Disney Plus. Boo. But certainly a thing to check out, man. I love when Ghibli does stuff, and Baby Yoda is certainly one of the best things that I would say Disney has come up with, but it's not Disney that freaking Favreau has come up with on behalf of Disney. So go check that out. It is, well, quote unquote free if you got Disney Plus. If you don't got Disney Plus, it's 3 minutes. I'm sure you can find it out there, people.
I was forced to get Disney Plus because I got Hulu Live for football season.
Yeah, that's how they get their numbers up. They force it on you.
But I can't figure out how to sign into it because they want a password, but they don't want my Hulu password, and so I don't have a password.
They don't give a shit whether you watch it or not. They give a shit that they get the subscriber number.
I'm just like, I wasn't going to watch it anyway, but it seems kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, the ESPN one, it just comes up. You know what I mean? But none of the Disney Plus shit does.
That's Monday Night Football, but yeah.
Very
Strange.
nefarious.
It's Disney, man. Everything they do is nefarious. Evil.
Including losing money.
A lot of money. Piles and piles of
cash. They just
cash.
jacked up the park rates again. For the second time this year.
Yeah. Go to Universal Studios, people. They're getting awesome Mario World.
I know.
And a Pokemon World.
They're going for my sister's birthday.
And they already got Harry Potter, right?
And they're probably just going to go to Universal. Because there's no way they're paying those Disney bucks.
Good. All right. Moving on from the cesspit that is Disney to the absolute money juggernaut that is Toei.
That's what they do.
So they are making money again, record highs. Well, again, they're making more money than ever because Dragon Ball Superhero, the movie came out, and One Piece film Red movie, OVA, whatever you want to call them, came out both this year. So they are just raking in piles and piles of cash.
That's what happens when you give the people what they want.
Second fiscal quarter, so April 1st to September 30th, which I think I want to talk to them about quarters. That's September 3rd, April. That's not a quarter, people. Net sales soared $290 million.
Damn.
And net income, not gross, net income rose $78.7 million. So that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
For a small company small, but relatively small. They're not Microsoft here.
Exactly.
Making animu and live action and whatever else. So pretty cool. I like when actually good things have a company make a ton of money. And a lot of people enjoy Dragon Ball and One Piece, and rightfully so. So, I don't know. Hollywood, take note. Pay attention. Netflix, everybody else, pay attention.
They can't, man.
Netflix, I think, is getting it, but because the animated things that they buy from other studios get them critical acclaim money, and the things they make themselves get shat all over and go nowhere.
Pretty much. Let somebody else do it.
But anyway, just keeping on the One Piece theme and moving forward here. So there is a still image out and a little sneak peek of the live action One Piece, which we're talking about Netflix disasters. See, it all ties together.
There you go.
I don't know how to feel about this one. I got a feeling it's going to be just a mess. I just don't think you can do it well live action. So
I don't think it'll be willfully offensive. I just think it's going to be silly.
It's just going to be weird. Really goddamn weird. But judging by the set, it's going to be weird. I will say their set designers did a good job. Much like I think the set designers for Cowboy Bebop did a good job. I think the people who picked cars and stuff did a shitty job. But
yeah, no, the sets were actually decent.
Decent
which
enough,
is why
right?
it was sad that it sucked so hard.
And Marshall Ali or whatever, the guy who played Jet. Oh God, that guy! He kicked. He was the thing I was most worried about, and he freaking crushed it, and everyone else sucked.
And everyone else sucked. Yeah.
So, I mean, poor. What's his face? He's too old now. John Cho. Poor John Cho tried his best. He tried his hardest.
I guess it was just bad direction.
Oh, bad direction. Well, bad casting. No offense, John Cho, but you're not a 29-year-old.
Yeah, you're like an old Korean dude.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. Like, still love you, John Cho. Anyway, One Piece, there's some stuff out there. So if you got some morbid curiosity, or hey, maybe you're genuinely curious because you're a One Piece fanatic and some strange live action One Piece, it could be fascinating. I'm just curious to see how they can even adapt any of it.
I will 100% check out at least one episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I mean? Just to see.
Because I have you can't do it. I will stick by that. You can't I will eat crow if it happens, but I'm going to stick by it. You cannot do it.
I just don't think they have the CG budget.
Even if you had the CG budget, it's the kind of thing that just doesn't work in live action.
Like a cartoony cartoon.
Yes, it's too weird. Like Dragon Ball Z, granted they did this, but you could do that live action.
Yeah.
This you can't do live action. You just can't, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, the main character is a rubber man.
Yeah.
Literally.
Dragon Ball Z, if you threw Marvel money at it, you could do it properly, I would imagine.
Yeah, and don't just have a guy with spiky hair and Spike from Angel be
James Marsters.
James Marsters. He was in it. I don't even remember who he was. Frieza, maybe? Who the hell knows?
No.
It's terrible.
He, not Krillin.
No, he was not Vegeta. No way.
No, he wasn't Vegeta.
Was he Piccolo?
I think it was Piccolo.
Oh, my God. Terrible. Anyway, we're going to forget about that and move on to wackier and more interesting Dragon Ball's news. So, a lot of Dragon Ball news today. There is now
exciting.
A Dragon Ball energy drink, people.
Whoa. Will give me, like,
so
Super Saiyan energy?
It's G Fuel, and it will give you Super Saiyan energy because it is Kamehameha flavored.
It'll give you super cancer is what it'll give
Sure, it is sugar-free and loaded with antioxidants from 18 different fruit extracts.
Yeah, it's sugar-free because it's filled with, like,
you know what else it's got?
Sugar substitute.
Do you know what else it's got? It's got what plants crave. That's what it's got.
It's got Brondo.
Yes, we have entered the world of Brondo, people. It is now Idiocracy.
Thank God.
And if you haven't seen Idiocracy, for the love of God, outside the scope of this podcast, but go watch it. It is an awesome satire that unfortunately has become reality.
It really has.
It's really awful.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Now I'm depressed. Anyway, if you want what plants crave, you go get yourself some G Fuel.
Yeah, it's your
Kamehameha.
It's your introduction to Clown World. That's what Idiocracy is.
Yeah, it was. It foretold in the great scrolls of Idiocracy. It foretold Clown World. I'm glad Mike Judge just went back to the well and did frickin' Beavis and Butthead because that's what we really need.
Trump is not as good as President Camacho.
Nowhere near as amusing, unfortunately.
But we're getting there. I think we could get a President Camacho if we work hard enough.
I mean, I suppose he could just have Terry Crews as running mate.
He's got to have the long hair and
absolutely. He's got to do the full thing. Got it. Terry Crews also awesome. That man is a treasure. All right, moving on. So we're gonna get into some of the more cultural news here. So this one's interesting. So Pixiv, which is an art website, it has updated its terms of service. And now it's talking about banning unethical content, quote unquote.
The fuck is that?
So here's what it means. It includes but is not limited to sexual exploitation of a minor, which
fair enough,
but I don't know how you determine that. Not to make that argument, but when it's pictures, like sometimes it's obvious, but
you're getting into the
incest
Uzaki-chan argument.
Yeah, incest, which I mean, it's pictures, whatever. I'm not saying any of this stuff is good. I'm just saying art is art, and you kind of got to stay away from it.
Yeah, I don't know how you can even prove that.
Down on the farm time. I'll leave it out of it. Grape, or any sort of non-consensual, special behavior, and non-consensual mutilation of a person or body part, which means no violence at all, I guess.
But I'm mutilating body parts all the time.
Right? Like, if I just want to draw an awesome picture of, I don't know, the Predator, like, taking somebody out, I can't do that? That's not allowed?
That basically is all art gone.
By the way, I will remind you about Tumblr. And what happened to Tumblr when they decided to start banning, like, pornography and lascivious content?
Yeah, they died.
It crashed and burned. And I suspect Pixiv will now also crash and burn. Now, I don't know that many people that used it to begin with, but
I've never even heard of it, so
yeah.
Seems ridiculous, though.
Yes, you have to either remove your content or set it private if you're on Pixiv. And they also bring into play here in the article I'm reading the idea that credit card payment processors are denying service to places that have this kind of content, which is very bad, right? This is the ESG endgame.
So there it goes. Like that's the real
thing, right?
real
Like,
reason,
oh,
yeah.
now you can't get a payment processor, so you can't monetize any of this stuff, your artwork. So now it dissuades that type of artwork.
It's always credit card companies.
And we're just back to censorship. Why did we have to go back to censorship? God damn it. Why?
It always comes down
I thought it was just the religious
It
nuts.
always comes down to fucking banks, though, like every time.
Oh, what's that? Banks are the root of all evil. Oh, I'm sorry. Not a political podcast. We won't talk about that.
What, you don't like your 0.03% interest compounded annually?
Oh, yeah. That 12 cents I get every year.
My
in, like,
awesome
my bank
savings account where I get like
I'm making that up. It's like 1.5 cents.
0.03 cents a month or something.
Yeah. Anyway, if you use Pixiv or on Pixiv, I would advise you to get the hell out and find something better, because though some of that stuff I wouldn't have really much of an issue with.
I actually kind of feel bad for Pixiv now.
Yeah. I mean, because they probably are being forced to do it, kind of, because of
it would seem so.
Because of payment processors. And this is why people laugh at some of this shit, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like, when something that you should consider as a very neutral service, right? Like, they should provide you service regardless of, unless it's for truly illegal content.
Like actual child
banks,
porn,
banks, payment processors, things like that. They kind of have to be neutral for this stuff to work. And when they start becoming not neutral, some people you don't want to have control over how you live your life and what you see in your life now have control over your life and what you see in your life. So it's just a shame.
Going back to cash money, baby.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna start,
And sharing pictures in person.
I'm gonna start trading people goats for stuff.
Yeah. For your dirty dogen.
Or chickens.
All right.
Whatever you're into.
I'll trade you some chickens for some content to choke my chicken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if that content involves chickens. All right. We're moving on here before you get too many images in your brain. Too bad you can't get them out. So moving on to another trend. So the Tokyo Metropolitan Public Safety Commission has blocked 2 branches of Mandarake. So Mandarake is a secondhand otaku chain. So they sell a lot of like dirty figures, action figures, models, all that kind of stuff, right? For and manga, photographs, whatever, artwork, I should say, whatever. So they have banned Mandarake from selling books containing erotic photographs for 180 days.
Why 180 days?
Because they're selling 6 books containing obscene photographs. I don't know why 180 days. I mean, I guess it's not for forever.
That's just bizarre and arbitrary.
Yeah. Large amount of adult entertainment in a prohibited area was what was happening, I suppose. Now, I could get it if, the stuff is maybe in the front window. Maybe that's a problem. Yeah, so apparently this was a bit of a dispute where the content was in view of a nearby store that said it was affecting their business. So I could kind of see that.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
So it looks like they did something more than just, this isn't just the naughty police coming in and saying you can't sell that. It's like, hey guys, come on. Don't sell it in such a way that,
Keep dicks out of your window, man.
Yeah, keep the 18-inch black rubber cock out of your window, please. Thank you.
It's just a common courtesy, for Christ's sake.
But anyway, I don't know. I still think it's another show that kind of society is swinging like a pendulum set of balls back to more censorship. Anyway, we're moving on, and we're going to move on to the last bit of news here. So this is a place where a lot of uncensored things are sold. But apparently there was a threat. So Comic Market, big event. We talked about it a couple weeks ago that actually did some pretty good business considering it was limited this year. So a 21-year-old NEET, not in education, not in education or training or whatever that is, whatever NEET stands for. Yeah. Not employed, education, training. Yeah. So unemployed. He sent an email threat saying a sewage facility would explode if they didn't cancel Comiket.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's a dumb threat. And it's actually kind of funny. Like, that sewage facility will explode. You don't do what I
like
say.
A third grader threat.
It really is. But been arrested for, threatening to blow up a sewage facility if they don't cancel Comiket. So, like I said, censors are getting serious out there, boys and girls.
Why would he want Comiket canceled?
Because, man, it's wrong. Actually, I don't know. It doesn't say here exactly why.
You figure NEETs would be all about dojins.
You would think. Apparently, this guy's been making threats before about other related things. So
he's just crazy.
It's just a crazy person.
Sometimes people are just crazy.
It's just a crazy person. But hey, sometimes crazy people get into positions of power. And sometimes places elect a vegetable. You never know.
It happens, man.
You never know. Anyway.
It could be Pennsylvania where they elected that dead guy. No, like a literal dead guy.
Yeah, he's a dead guy.
Like, he was dead for months.
Listen, Pennsylvania elects a lot of things. All right.
Won by a landslide.
We're done. We're done here. We're done with the news.
It's over, man.
It's over.
Lucifer the Biscuit Hammer. Yuhei's grandfather died, which totally burns him because that was his wish. So his wish got, I don't know, shit on, I guess. But I mean, he got hit by a car or something. So like, the disease was cured and he got his wish. So it's like one of those weird karmic burns.
Oh, monkey's paw?
Yeah, totally right.
Always a monkey's paw.
I don't think it has anything to do with the plot, but it's just one of those things. Anyway, he goes on a vision quest. He has to fight a bunch of dead people, and I don't know. He finally actually wins a fight and like gets his shit together. That's pretty much the episode.
So your classic get your shit together episode.
Yeah, and the cat knight cannot. He's the one that like makes golems to fight the golems.
Yep.
I don't know. It's weird power.
He's a cat knight. He's very
anyway,
lazy.
he's got like a mental block on like he just can't like make golems anymore. They're always like shitty.
Oh no, he needs golem Viagra.
Yeah, he just can't get it up golem wise anymore. So everybody's trying to help him like figure out how to make a super tough golem, and that's basically it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the overview anyway.
Shinobi no Itoki. Anything happening this week?
Oh man, it ramped up super hard. They went straight to fucking like Ninja Clan War, like bam, in like one episode.
Oh, so they unlike Naruto, they skipped like 5 years.
Yeah, they did skip 5 years. It was like basically the investigative branch of like the Ninja Association, because there's like an association of
Ninja Commissars, got it.
Yeah.
Or Ninja Inquisitors.
They basically finished their investigation. They called like they hadn't had a meeting of the Ninja Clans in like 70 years. It's like this big once a generation thing.
Yep.
So they did it. They called out the Koga Clan for being bullshit, but the Koga Clan like bought off fucking everybody on Earth, and Toki's mom ends up getting arrested, and shit's about to fucking fly.
It's about to pop off.
So, that's where that is.
All right. So, ramping up. It's getting to the meat of it.
Yeah, ramping up pretty quick. I think it's only episode 8 or something. 8, 7, 9, somewhere in there. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's mid-season. Most shows are between episode 6 and 8, so
they're getting it done.
Okay.
Getting busy.
And that one started earlier than a lot of the other ones.
That is true, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Legend of the Galactic Heroes. So we finally started that. So unfortunately this week, as we talked about last week, Golden Kamui is going to be on hiatus for a while. And for some reason there was no Gundam episode this week. I don't remember if that was planned or not. I don't know. But
yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember reading about it. So
something's rattling around in my brain that they were going to take a couple weeks off here and there. But anyway, no Gundam this week, so we started Legend of Galactic Heroes. So the latest season, which picks up right where the last one left off, where the last one was on part. It ended on part 3 of the 4-part like
cliffhanger, man.
Fortress versus Fortress battle, and then it ended on I'm gonna ram that fortress with my fortress. And all these fortresses are like the size of moons. You know, they're like Death Stars.
Basically, yeah.
So in this episode here, we get
they're like Death Stars except they actually work.
Yeah, well, they don't. Yeah, they don't just have one giant beam, and they get to actually do something. So here we have was it Mueller or Kempf was the guy who was gonna
Kempf, I think, is the guy who's in charge of taking Isolon Fortress back.
Yeah, and he was gonna go crash into it. And he tries real hard, but of course he gets
everybody gets Yang lead. Really
he gets brutally Yang lead, and he is unsuccessful in his attempts to suicide in the fortress. They blow up one of the boosters on the back of his fortress.
Yeah, so he couldn't steer it right.
And it went off course a bit. So yeah, he did some damage, but not enough, and he unfortunately left his kids fatherless and his wife a widow because he was in charge of doing it, and he had honor, and he had to take out the fortress.
He had to go down with his Death Star.
So that's basically how that ends. There's some stuff in there, but that's basically what happens. Then at the end, Mittermeier and Royenthal show up. Those are the kind of big, the big.
They're like second in command
generals or admirals for
the Empire.
Yeah, for the Empire. And they show up, and they're gonna get some revenge. You know. The other thing is, what's his name? Mueller, the other guy.
Yeah.
Gets injured, really badly injured.
Yes, he does. He's fucked up. He's
all
strapped
fucked up
to a table at the end of
so
it.
he just goes home, gets the hell out of there. But Mittermeier and Royenthal are like, we're gonna go get revenge. We're gonna get Yang Lee. So apparently they're setting themselves up to get Yang Lee. But I don't know. The Empire is applying a lot of pressure here to.
They really want Isolon back.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that is the
Yang
only
Lee
corridor.
There's two. Through. Yeah, because there's two corridors, and the other one's got Fezan, whatever the neutral. So you can't bring fleets through there. The neutral empire country empire, whatever the heck they are. They're not an empire.
They're like a neutral planet.
A neutral planet. They're Switzerland, basically. They're space Switzerland, except way more diabolical. I don't know.
Less Nazi gold.
I think they got a lot of Nazi gold, actually.
Probably.
Anyway, that's what happens in Legend of Galactic Heroes. Let's see. Let's talk about Chainsaw Man, because we just watched that yesterday. So it's a great setup of an episode. So there's still the episode before they were caught in they went into like a apartment building or a hotel. It's a hotel technically, but that kind of setup with corridors with all sorts of doors where there's rooms. Yeah, definitely a hotel.
Yeah, it is.
And they're on like the 8th floor, and they get stuck on the 8th floor. And they're almost like in a loop. Like you go down the stairs, you end up at the top of the stairs. Like you can't escape. So they explore that a lot. Some of the people start to go crazy.
Once they figure out they can't get out,
the new recruits, like poor Denji has to deal with there's an Aki, the other guy, right? Like they got to deal with the new recruits. And one of them goes crazy and gets really stabby.
Yeah.
She just loses it.
I don't know why she keeps finding like kitchen knives everywhere, but whatever.
And Power is mostly amused by the whole situation because she's just a psychopath. Well, she's a fiend, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, it turns out that they are trapped by the Infinity Demon.
Listen, she has to get a Nobel Prize so she can take over the world.
Oh, my God. It's such a ridiculous plot.
Oh,
the show is great.
Way too funny.
But anyway, they encounter the Infinity Demon, and apparently with your fear, it gets bigger and bigger. And it stopped time on this floor, too, so no one's going to come and rescue you. Technically, they're in its stomach. That's what it says. And it keeps growing bigger and bigger. It just looks like an amalgamation of bodies. It looks like that classic...
Like a charnel heap.
Yeah, like a heap of just, like, arms and legs and heads and torso. Oh, it's gross. It's real fucking gross. But It's like, hey, if you feed me Denji, I'll well, he says chainsaw, but if you feed me Denji, I'll let you all go. And it's a binding compact. So that sends the crazy girl even crazier. Ends up stabbing is Aki, right? The guy.
Yeah. Well, she tries to stab Denji.
She tries to stab Genji, ends up stabbing him. Power kind of helps save him a little bit, but then Denji's like, okay, fuck it. If this stupid demon wants to eat me and there's no other way out of here, like, fuck it. I'm just going to jump in and chainsaw my way to victory.
Yeah.
So he jumps in.
I would assume I could chainsaw my way out.
Yeah, he jumps in, and that's how it ends. There's next episode, I'm sure we'll see the epic chainsawing that goes on inside of the weird infinity demon. So cool. I really like the weirdness of it. I like it's not just your standard, oh, it's a demon that's big and mean and got some sort of power. Like,
yeah, no, it's cool.
It's got that classic weirdness going on. I appreciate it. A little Lovecrafty too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I like the designs for all the demons too. They're like hyper creepy.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, so Mob Psycho.
Still hilarious.
Mob Psycho was still great.
They wrapped up the whole.
Yeah, they wrapped up the whole Dimple.
Broccoli.
Yeah, freaking
thing.
Psycho helmet arc where the broccoli took off into space last time
Right.
with poor Dimple on board. So this episode is kind of an in-betweener episode, like a cool-down episode. So the telepathy club is going to break up, because they're not finding any telepaths. And the president of the telepathy club, well, she's not very amused about the fact that they haven't found any UFOs or telepaths or anything.
Yeah, she's about to graduate, and she kind of wasted her high school years.
So the other three members of the club are like, "Oh man, this is lame. Like, we got to do something about this. Hey, let's find some actual telepaths." So they, of course, go to Mob and be like, "Hey, what about telepathy?" And he's like, "Man, I ain't got no telepathy, but I know some people who got telepathy."
Yeah.
And from like last season or the season before, he goes and talks to a set of twins. Well, twins, brothers, whatever they are.
Yeah.
That have telepathy. And it gets into that, and they're different types of powers, right? Like, Mob can't do that. He can help amplify the power, and he does that later, but he doesn't have that. So, the telepathy bros have to, they do this thing where they emit a noise that other telepaths can hear, and it annoys the shit out of them. So come to find out, the original president of the telepathy club is actually a telepath, even though he never really told anybody. And he's been reading people's minds and fucking with people for years. But he just wants to be a normal boy. He doesn't want to deal with any of this shit. But then he talks to Mob, and whether he realizes just from talking to him or reads his mind, he can't really tell and he doesn't say.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, okay, you do get what this is like. So he agrees to help, and they all want to go cheer up the current president of the club, and get her to stop being, just so down in the dumps about not finding all these telepathic things and aliens and whatever else, because she wants to use telepathy to summon aliens. So they get Reagan to rent him a car. There's some shenanigans, and the episode ends with them going out to like this mountain, hill, whatever, to go summon some UFOs. Mount Mudboat. That's right, Mount Mudboat. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if maybe they summon down Dimple from space or something, because that'd be freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it's gotta have something to do with it.
And this seems like the super not serious middle of the season arc.
Oh, definitely.
Like they just got through their super serious part. It'll get serious at the end again, but this is that middle where you let it cool off. So once again, great pacing, great characters, just a great fucking show.
It was fun.
Yeah, no complaints. All right. Last up here is Urusei Yatsura.
Hilarious as always.
Yeah, I feel every time we talk about Urusei Yatsura, it's kind of the same thing, because it's just a series of wacky things going on. And Ataru just literally being the worst human. Like, dude, there's like horny, and then there's just, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right. You freaking retard. So anyway, the first one, Lum, of course, creates a interdimensional corridor like in his closet. And takes him back to our homeworld for this festival. And he thinks, everyone's big and tough and mean. There's ogres and pirate-looking dudes and all sorts of shit. And you're like, oh, no, he's like, I'm going to die. This is the worst. And he's going to miss out on his sukiyaki, which he's very sad
Which
about.
Which is hilarious.
And the whole sukiyaki subplot with Cherry is freaking great. I do want my sukiyaki devotional poster.
Yes. I would kill for that.
But, yeah, he goes there and then meets Lum's friend, who, of course, is super hot, and he wants to mac on her. And it turns out that it's not a game where you fight each other. It's a game where you like
Toss
throw
rocks into a fucking
I
basket.
don't even think it's rocks. It's like wadded up paper or
Whatever.
something. It's like
you're
so
tossing shit into a basket.
it's so cheesy. And then at the end he has to get punished, and they're literally just like throwing random stuff at him. But it's not even bad. It's like an entire joke because that's how that show rolls. And then the second one is the same kind of idea again, where he's got a cold because Lum's friend from Neptune has decided to open or use the interdimensional corridor to just shovel snow and cold air
into his room because they have no place else to put his room. Snow.
So his room gets like full of snow, and then all the boys and girls from school come over, and they go to Neptune, and all the girls there just are like, "Oh yeah, oh boys, you're the best. Shovel snow."
And then shovel
you're
snow
so cute.
for the rest of the episode.
And Mondo shovels snow like till he dies probably because he can't get out of there. And they meet. Was it not Uria? I remember Uria. Regardless, Lum's friend, who's of course also a hot girl, and she also wants to make time with Ataru. Actually, one of the ones who actually wants to make time with Ataru for like half a second, and then of course she's washed over by some giant yeti.
Yeah, that chases Ataru.
And then there's a whole King Kong angle,
which is hilarious.
Where he's got Ataru in his hand outside of his house,
like on his roof
of his like 1-story house.
Which is kind of funny.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Or 2-story house, whatever. So it's just wacky. And then there's a whole after the credits thing where Ataru says he's going to resign, and everyone takes it as resign as main character. So everyone's trying to be main character. It's like, no, man, I just don't want to be president anymore. Like right. Class president. They're like, wait, you were class president? Because it is something they did like in the first episode or second episode.
It's never mattered.
And they haven't brought it up since.
Actually, no, they did. Actually, they brought up last episode.
Did they?
Remember, because
they barely pay much attention to it.
Because they're like, remember, everybody didn't want Mondo to be class president.
Oh, again, that's right, because of the regardless,
it was the bet last time.
It was the bet. Regardless, it doesn't come up a lot, so
no, not at all.
It's just kind of funny, and it has mostly no effect on the plot. So, hey, Urusei Yatsura, still great. Can't complain. I mean, it's doing exactly what you expected to do. Ataru is. I like the character growth last episode. He does get a little grating after a while. It's like, dude, come on, knock it off. You're too ridiculous.
This is a game.
But I don't know, it's one of those jokes that like you're like, God, I'm sick of this. This is annoying, and then it gets funny again. So I don't know.
Just keeps coming back around.
I think Rumiko Takahashi knew what she was doing. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Because there's no Gundam. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll have some Gundam next week. That's it. So I don't know. You want to talk about DOTA? You want to talk about Kamen Rider?
Let's do DOTA first.
Let's talk about DOTA. All right. So, Book 3, new season of DOTA's Dragon Blood. So,
it's structured kind of weird because, like, they just have a cleanup episode after the finale of...
Yeah, I think it's 2, but yeah.
Of 2.
I think they had, like, 2 cleanup episodes.
The episode after that is, like, epic super final battle.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Which is bizarre because it's like, it's only been 2 episodes. What the fuck is going on? And then...
Yeah, their final battle against... was Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Such a ridiculous name.
And then after that, everything just like resets into a new arc.
Yeah, so it's very strange. So
it's just a strange way to like set up.
Like the man said, it's
season.
Basically an episode of setup. So from dealing with the fallout from last season, what's her name? The mute girl died.
Yeah, what's her face is like in charge. Princess, what's her face?
Mirana?
Yeah. She's like in charge of shit now.
And Luna gets the Celemane's powers, so that was the Lunar Princess. They have all these ridiculous like powers, right? Anyway, or Fimrin was the one. Fimrin was the girl who takes Celemane's
Yeah,
power.
Luna's the one who came back.
Luna's the one with the Legion. Yep. Yeah, she comes back. So anyway, they go fight. They do their business. They take out Terrorblade, except then, of course,
never trust the wizard.
Never trust the wizard. So the wizard, what is his name? He's got the sorcerer's name. He's like the Invoker.
Yes.
The Invoker. He's got another name too, but the Invoker is too cool, so I'm going to use it. So the Invoker is just like, no, I did all this to get my daughter back. So sorry, people, get my daughter back. Now, at the same time, Murata is the one who like it's kind of sets it. She does a very Star Trek 2 thing. She like sets a thing so she will remember. Because the whole world is gonna. They're basically when you have all the dragon souls, you can like basically remake the Earth. You can remake reality, and the Invoker does that. And the rest of the season, so far anyway, he's got his daughter back. So the world's a little different. It's almost like everyone's where they should be. Like Finran is already the Queen of the Moon, and who knows where the hell Salamene is at. What the hell else? Like. Mirana isn't the queen or the empress or whatever of the Light Kingdom anymore. Her father still is, but he's all crazy, and the uncle's not there being evil at the moment. And I don't know. It kind of resets to square one, but not really. It does make some changes.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's kind of interesting. Now, this is where they get kind of video gamey because it does seem like it resets to there was that background comment, right, that where they're setting the stage for I don't know anything about the video game, right? But where they're like, oh, these rocks are falling from the sky and various people, like it's turning people into zombies, but some people get mad powers out of it.
Yeah.
And they show a bunch of little, quick stills of that.
They're probably characters.
Characters from the damn game. I don't know. I don't play Dota. I'm not going to play Dota. So it is nothing wrong with you do. Just not my thing. We get to the point where they realize what's going on. So it's funny because it's the Invoker's daughter who actually kind of figures out what the hell's going on. Which
it seems like she's kind of a pain in the ass, and he's probably
Philomena.
He's probably regretting his decision.
Yeah, Philomena, and she figures it out. So now they're just who knows what you're gonna do, right? I get the impression, because Miranda goes and sees that the sage or whatever his name is, and you get the impression that you're not really gonna remake the world the way it was. That's not really the point of this. Like,
no.
Maybe you should set things right. Maybe some stuff will change. Maybe you'll do something. Davion's master gets killed at some point here too. It's funny because Slyrak gets killed again. So Slyrak got killed fighting freaking Terrorblade last season, and then he gets killed again here. So apparently Slyrak is like King Chump, which is a shame because Tony Todd's voice is so awesome.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a waste.
And then Caden is is Davion's master. Davion being the kind of main character last season. This season he's not so much. It's more.
I think it will be
Murata.
Eventually. But
I think it's getting back to that.
Mirana's trying to
because he can't remember. Yeah. But Caden gets killed in this, which Caden didn't even get killed before. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. So it's 8 episodes. We got through. I want to say the first 5.
Yeah, it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, healing sleep. Yep. Yeah, it was first 5. So we got 3 episodes left. So we'll take a watch of the rest and see what the hell's going on. And I don't know. I'm shocked they gave it another season. So
yeah, I don't know where the fuck it's gonna go from.
I don't know. I mean, I hope it keeps getting more because it's been entertaining. Again, it's not the best thing ever. It's not as good as Arcane was, but
no, it's just solid.
It's very solid. It's very good. I like it quite a bit. Anything else you want to add about that?
No, pretty much sums it up.
All right, so moving on. So, love a bit of Kamen Rider here. Love a little bit of Toku. Can't do animation all the time, even though it's in the title. So, Kamen Rider Black Sun. So, a couple years ago, they did Kamen Rider, I think it was Amazons.
Yeah.
Which was a more adult-themed Kamen Rider, not miniseries, but, like a 10-episode, 12-episode, 8-episode, whatever it was, show without 45-minute to hour-long episodes rather than Monster of the Week 25-minute, normal Kamen Rider. And everything looks a little more adult. It looks a little less cheesy. It looks a little less plasticky and toy-like.
It's gritty.
But yeah, it's not super gritty, but it's gritty. Listen, Kujira, the guy with the whale head. I mean, come on.
You can only make Kamen Rider so.
You can only make Kamen Rider so serious. So here they're basically doing a remake. I mean, it's not really a remake, but kind of a remake of Kamen Rider Black, which was from the late 80s and is one of the more popular Kamen Rider series. That isn't the original, of course. And in this it revolves around Gaijin. So this group of, are they people? They look like humans, but they can turn into kind of anthropomorphic animal people.
Yeah, like
animal heads and animal powers, and sometimes they're bigger and they have animal bodies and stuff too. It depends. But they could, transform at will. And they're all apparently birthed from some creation king. Who looks like a giant grasshopper, a giant white grasshopper.
Which is creepy as fuck.
Very fucking creepy. But something happened 50 years ago, and they're teasing it out. So there's a bit of a mystery. So we're not going to know till the end. But there was these what are they, creation stones or whatever.
Yeah.
And they hid one away in it looked like they hid one away in each kid, but then one is not in the kid, but whatever. It looks like they took the stone out and they hid one in one kid, which is the main character. Kotaro. Kotaro is the main character. Sorry, I was reading the actor's name. And then there's Nobuhiko, which is his actual brother.
I think it's his actual brother.
Yeah, his like younger brother. He becomes Shadow Moon. So, Kotaro becomes Kamen Rider Black Sun, and his brother becomes Kamen Rider Shadow Moon. They don't call him Kamen Rider. It's not quite the same as regular Kamen Rider. Like, they don't just magically materialize with weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
They do have belt-looking things, which, they kind of transform like everybody else transforms, like the Gaijin. But they have belt-looking things. But anyway, it bounces back and forth between, like, the 70s when this shit first happened with Oliver Johnson.
Yes.
The one black guy in the series who's, I don't know, blamed for everything. So, I don't know, racist much, Japan? Jeez, what the hell? But what's going on? There's Golgum? I don't know. It gets translated a bunch of different ways. Golgum is like it was a movement back in the day to get, like, equality for Gaijin, and then of course it became like a political party. They struck deals with the then prime minister, and now they're kind of second-class citizens.
Well, the party is super corrupt.
The party's super corrupt.
Abandoned them.
And it's like selling Gaijin on the Gaijin black market.
Yeah.
Like slavery for Gaijin. Because you use them, obviously if they're more powerful, you can use them to
bodyguards
and fight your gang wars or whatever. So you got the corrupt prime minister there, and then there's a little girl who's the Greta of this show, who's advocating on behalf of Gaijin. But her parents were around back in the day, so there's something going on there. And then you got Kotaro and Nobuhiko's memories from back then, and Nobuhiko's been eating this stuff called Heavens. This is another piece of the show. It's basically Soylent Green, kind of. It's like the slurm nectar that comes out of the frickin' Creation King mixed with people.
Which is really gross.
Really gross, but it makes Gaijin more powerful, and it keeps them from aging. So Nobuhiko got chained up for like 50 goddamn years since the 70s.
Yeah, because they're trying to get his stone.
Because they're trying to get the stone. He wouldn't give it up. And they just kept feeding him this stuff to keep him alive because they need to get the information. And then Kotaro didn't eat this stuff, and he aged, but he's definitely not. He definitely is not looking like he's 70 years old, 80 years old.
Definitely not.
He looks like he's maybe, late 40s, right? Maybe mid 40s. So, I don't know. You got the hero who's kind of not that good of a hero, Kotaro. You got the anti-hero, Nobuhiko. You got the little girl, is it Aoi or whatever, who's the Greta. She needs to be protected, and she's trying to fight for the rights of Gaijin. And then you have the anti-Gaijin group that keeps going around and protesting. And it's kind of like showing you the mirror, like, history rhymes, like the same kind of things are going on, riots in the streets. But then there's the background of like Golgum trying to get the stones. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with them. I think the Creation King is dying, and they need them to make a new Creation King.
That is my impression. Creation King is dying. They need the stones to like make a new one, because otherwise they just go extinct.
That's what I get. So it's almost like you need to give that stone to another Creation King, or you need to give that stone to another Gaijin to make another Creation King.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and they all have wacky powers and different stuff. So very Kamen Rider in that regard. Anyway, we're about halfway through it. So what'd you like about it so far?
The suits are awesome.
Suits are very cool.
I love the style. I'm always a sucker for like those stupid like frog oven style
Frog oven.
villains. I mean, nothing is as good as frog oven, but you know, whale head guy, that crazy junk.
Yep.
I'm a sucker for dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Actually, no, the motorcycles are super awesome in this one.
They're very cool. Yeah, they're less dirt bike and a little more like road
they're
bike.
like, they're like kind of old sports bike.
Yeah, like 70s style sports bikes, which is cool. Good characters. I like that Nobuhiko is not, he's not super good. He's not super evil. He's willing to do whatever it takes to get revenge against Golgum, right?
Yeah.
Whereas,
That's kind of his only goal.
That's his only goal.
And his brother's just like, I don't really want anything to do with this crap. But
Yeah, like he wants to stop Golgum from doing evil shit, but he's not on board with doing anything necessary. Like he doesn't want to use heaven because it's made of people, right? That's awful.
It's pretty gnarly.
But he also doesn't want Golgum to get, obviously, the stone and make another Creation King, and it's just interesting. It's an interesting plot. So it's a little slow. That's my only
That's
bitch.
my only bitch. It is super... it's super gory when it has the opportunity to be.
Yes,
but
very
it is
gory.
Not nearly enough. It's a lot
Not
more...
enough action, right?
It's a lot more talking, a lot less action.
Not that I need it to be super action-y, but it's a little slow. We'll see, because that's the kind of thing that can easily be balanced out in the second half of the show.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they save budget to do this kind of thing. Anno, you listening? Sometimes they save budget to do this stuff at the end.
Yes, blow all your money at the end, not in the middle.
But yeah, it's a cool show. I like it a lot, and it's on Amazon Prime right now. I mean, we'll see if it ends terribly or whatever, but I gotta say, I'm already wanting to say it's going to be good enough to recommend. So we'll watch the rest.
So far, it is definitely.
Yeah, we'll watch the rest
Especially
probably by next
if you're
week.
like a tokusatsu guy to begin with.
Yeah, and we'll probably watch the rest by next week. I think we watched 4 episodes, and there's 6 more, so it might take 2 more weeks, but probably not. We'll probably watch the rest next week and report back. Anyway. It's time for Macross. It's Macross time. So Macross Zero. So last time we did Macross Plus. This here is another OVA related to Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Super Dimension Fortress, sorry. No all. Super Dimension Fortress Macross, which is Robotech in the West. At least the first part of Robotech in the West. So we did Macross Plus, which was a sequel to Macross, but like 30 years later, and bridged the gap between that and Macross 7. This is a prequel to Macross. So I think this was the 20th anniversary project for Macross. And I got to say, and Shoji Kawamori to Macross did it. I got to say, I will stick by it that I think this entire project exists just to do 2 things. 1, get a bunch of ancient astronaut theories out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because there's a lot of like ancient astronaut stuff going on in this. We'll talk about it. And then 2, they wanted more Roy Fokker.
Oh, yeah, this was just to have more Roy.
Super popular character, and spoiler alert, he does die during Macross, and it's
way earlier than he should.
Way earlier than you would hope, right? So not like, episode 3 early or something, but
yeah,
it's fairly early on, and this gives you a chance to see some more of him, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, the series doesn't revolve completely around Roy, it revolves around Shin. So basically it takes place at the end. So basic concept for Macross is alien spaceship crashes on Earth, and Earth is in turmoil, and there's all civil wars going on. People are fighting each other, all kinds of wars, and then they need to unify, right? So someone decides, hey, we need to make UN spacey, right? We need the United Space Forces and all this shit.
Yeah.
We need to get together because obviously there's a goddamn alien threat here because the spaceship crash landed here with giants dead on it because Zentradi are giant. At least when they're not micronized. Like, we got to get our shit together because we got to be ready for this because who knows what's going to happen. So this is about the tail end of that, right? So this is the very tail end of that conflict where it's UN versus like the last
gasp of
anti-UN stuff. But it doesn't revolve around that war so much. That's a backdrop, a setting. What it revolves around is the fucking Birdman. Right.
The goddamn Birdman.
So some type of alien. So there's an island in the South Pacific, and Shin, the main character, he's in a regular fighter, and he takes out a bunch of enemies, and then he gets his ass kicked by a transforming fighter. It comes in, and it transforms, almost kills him, and he ejects, and he ends up washed ashore on Mayan, which they use names for places where they're not at. So sorry, that's just Japan being Japan. Ends up on the shore here, and with these local people that are very, very indigenous. Not completely. It's not like they haven't been contacted by the outside world, but it's an indigenous group of people that are, they worship the sun, kind of, and the bird god, and the turtle god, and the bird man came down, and the fish man came up. I mean, there's this story. There's a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole mythology here. But unfortunately, fortunately, for whoever, the bird man is a real thing. There's a giant submerged, bird man.
Yeah, it's like this crazy alien-looking, one-eyed, flying monster.
And there's a bird head. It's crazy because one of the myths is the bird cut its head off. So it's clearly some sort of alien that came here thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, right? And
possibly millions.
Yeah, who knows? Long, long ago, and maybe it created humanity, maybe it seeded humanity. Who knows, right? It's got that Prometheus, old-timey stuff going on, and. Shin starts to learn more about that. And he does eventually get rescued because Roy, it shifts to Roy, and he's fighting the other variable fighters with his own VF-Zeros, which is the precursor to the VF-1s that you'll see in the Valkyries in Macross. So a plane that transforms into a giant robot. That's basically all you need to know. Not that complicated. So it goes back and forth from there between there's a doctor character who's like a disciple. So a medical doctor, but a disciple of basically this universe's version of Von Daniken.
Yeah.
Who's got all the ancient astronaut theories going on and wants to prove it and was at the island back in the day. And he shows up again later. But it revolves around that. Is this real? Is this not real? And then when you find out, well, it kind of is real. Well, what do you do about it? All at the same time, you have the anti-UN people trying to get a hold of the Birdman in the head so they can get that power, and they just want to exploit it for the power it'll give them so they could win whatever this war is. And I would assume unite the Earth under their banner and then go fight aliens in space.
Yeah.
That's the basic backdrop. It's fairly simple. It's a pretty simple story. And I don't want to get into too much more because that's basically what it's about. And there's not all that much more going on. But anyway, what'd you like about it?
It's super cool to do a prequel. Because that's one of those, it's very one-year war type of thing. Where, you could do a lot of stuff around when the Macross crashed.
And they don't do a lot.
No, not at all. It's, a super cool thing. And I'm really glad they did it. Story makes sense. Everything that has to happen happens.
Good pacing.
It's got the thing that puts it slightly ahead of Macross Plus. It has way more action scenes.
Yeah,
there's tons of fucking dogfights every 5 minutes.
I still like Macross Plus better, but I understand.
I probably do, but I think
this is more entertaining.
It's more entertaining,
and it's probably an easier entry point.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
The Macross Plus is. The CG is old, but it's still pretty good. It looks better than it does in some modern shows.
Oh, it really does. It's not bad at all.
But it's still older CG.
Yeah, it's
and it does clash a bit
because
the rest of the animation is so pretty.
Yeah.
It's a shame it wasn't more like OATHMS Team, where the animation and the mechs are just they're gorgeous.
Yes, they really are. But yeah, the story gets a little loose here and there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of woo-woo, ancient astronaut, whatever.
Yeah. So you got to kind of pay attention because there's crap going on. It's why did he do that? What's going on?
Yeah, and it's one of those things it's not going to give you all the answers. It's not going to give you all the pieces of the puzzle. I think it was
designed specifically to not give you all the answers. They want endless speculation.
Yeah, it's fun to speculate about stuff like that. The characters were good. So Shin's a good character, good main character. Classic Japanese hero character, right?
Yeah, definitely. Seen it 1,000 times.
A little boring, a little straight-laced, You had Sarah, which is the priestess, the main priestess, and then she can do all sorts of crazy shit. And she's very closed off at first, and you understand why later. They do a good job of showing you the backstory
they really
there
do, yeah.
of why she's the way she is. But she's never really awful or mean. She's She was just like, fuck off, leave me alone. You're gonna mess everything up, and she's actually right. Everything does get messed up in the exact way she said it was gonna mess
yeah,
up.
it really is true.
And it would have been better if people had just fucked off. You have her sister Mao, who's kind of just running around and
Classic tomboy.
you
Back
know,
before
making her
tomboys-
sister jealous.
Back before tomboys were outlawed.
And then Roy, obviously.
Yeah, you get a lot of
Roy being
action.
Roy. And you get, there's a rivalry there between him and Dee Dee, which is his old flight instructor who's on the other side. So you get some of that.
Fucking Russians, man.
And then you get Nora, who's just, it's kind of good because you get a little bit of that Gundam feel where she's been wronged. Like, she just seems like an evil, snarling, mustache-twirling villain.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, no, the UN people did some really bad shit to her and her family. Because, uniting the world is,
But then
bad stuff's going to happen.
that's what happened to Shin's parents, too. So.
Exactly, from the other side. So, it's just it's got that classic Japanese anti-war kind of thing going on while making war look really cool.
That is their curse.
Yeah. But it's just cool. It's got that, I gotta say, if you like transforming mecha, watch it. If you like mecha at all, watch it. If you like
Awesome dogfights in planes.
awesome dogfights and planes, watch it. If you like ancient astronaut craziness, watch it. Like, it's got a lot going on, man.
It does have a lot going on. A little bit of everything.
It's even got a decent romance going on in there.
Yeah, it does.
A couple of them, actually.
It kind of pushes all the buttons.
Oh, yeah.
And once
Pushes
again,
all the buttons.
Once again, I just really love that they did like a prequel to like right after it crashed. That was like
It was
really
cool.
idea.
It was a cool way to handle it. So
I almost wish they do more.
great show. Again, you could watch this by itself. It doesn't. This ties in even less with regular Macross than
Oh yeah, definitely.
the Macross.
All
Plus.
you need to know is that the alien spacecraft crashed.
Yep.
That's the only like tie-in to actual Macross that you need to know,
Yeah. That's about it.
which is pretty easy because they explain everything at the beginning. So
Yeah. Great show. Like I said, Kawamori did it, and he was the original one to do it. It came out 2002 to 2004. It's 5 half-hour-long episodes. It's 2.5 hours. So it's like a Marvel movie in length.
yeah, no, it's an easy watch. So
Yeah, I gotta recommend it. Now it's hard to find. Of
I don't know
course,
where the hell you're gonna find
like
it.
all
but-
Macross stuff. So hopefully, we're just laying the groundwork here so that when all this stuff gets released, because it sounds like it's all going to get released.
Probably, yeah.
I think Macross Zero they've already confirmed, but once all this stuff gets released, you'll know what's good and what's bad. Don't watch Macross Delta. Anyway,
Put on your tricorn and find it.
yeah, man, sail them high seas.
Anyway, I guess that's about it. So, as usual, have a fantastic week. I think it's Thanksgiving next week.
It is.
Holiday week.
Well, there will not be an episode next week. We gotta eat some turkey. God damn it.
Yeah, too much shit going on. So, in 2 weeks, we'll be back.
Yeah, man. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.